Hey guys, it's your boy Widgie here, coming at you with some interesting things today for you, and it's going to be the Age of Empires 4 final preview reaction from IGN. Now, I saw this on Reddit. I didn't actually watch all of it. I only watched a little snippet of it, and I got to say, the dislikes to like ratio is not very good at all. We're at 1.7k likes to 1.8, and let's have a watch and see what this reviewer says about AoE 4. And about the final preview. So let's jump in. There will be a few pauses here and there, and let's see what's happening. Yo, he switched on the YouTube voice to 110%. That's it. You know it. Let's go, guys.
The first word that comes to mind, having played around a dozen hours of Age of Empires 4's stress test, is familiar. In almost every way that matters, it's more like a ground-up remake of Age of Empires.
Whoa, slow down a second. Hang on, look at this crazy guy. Should you ever look at his hotkeys? Whoa. This guy's got his units on 5 and 6. What? This guy has got his units on 5 and 6. What on earth? What on earth? I tell you what, guys, what we'll do is, just to make it easier, we might as well just put it on the home screen, right? I'll just make it a lot easier. You guys can see it. I can see it. Wow. What a reaction. So yeah, so he's got his unit groups on 5 and 6 here. Extremely interesting. Someone let GUA know. And he's got his town center on 1, 2, 3. See, I got to say, guys, with the military buildings, I just have them all on one hotkey and I just tab through them to cycle through the different military building types. I don't know if you don't know how you don't know if that was the thing, but I do that on Age of Empires 4. I think I just prefer doing it. I don't know why, but anyway.
With modern graphics and a much better user experience, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. There are some small tweaks, like being able to hide units in forests, and the design of the 4 factions I played, at least on a macro level, reflect more modern sensibilities than Age 4's August forebears. But for better or for worse, Relic is clearly not taking a lot of chances to disrupt the basic formula here.
Yeah, well, right. Okay, yeah, of course. You know, like, they are a business at the end of the day. Like, I don't want to go into this too in depth, but at the end of the day, they are a business. They've got to mitigate risk as much as they can. They're providing a game that is in a genre that is of very low interest to the overall population of people who play video games. I mean, let's face it, RTS, especially old school RTS, is just nowhere near as popular as other subgenres and genres of video games, right? So, of course, they don't want to go too risky with it, you know, because it could just all be for nothing. They've got to play some certain areas safe. Okay, so yeah, we're nerds. Yeah, like, you know, like it's not difficult to get your head around. Widgie Inner Accountant Manager is coming out.
To be fair, the 4 playable factions in this build were among the most conventional in Age of Empires 4. The English, specifically, have been designed to feel the most familiar to Legacy series players. We haven't yet been able to get our hands on the nomadic Mongols or the versatile Rus, which may mix things up a bit more like I was hoping. Out of the factions available, the Chinese were probably the most distinct and my overall favorite. Their support unit, the Imperial Official, can be used to passively increase your gold income by collecting taxes that slowly build up in all of your base structures, or by directly supervising buildings to increase their output. You're limited to 4 at any given time, meaning it never became a micromanagement nightmare, and I really liked how I could take a very direct hand in how I used them, or just let them wander off and do their own thing. It's a mechanic that rewards investing your attention, but doesn't harshly punish you for forgetting it exists. The Abbasids and the Holy Roman Empire both encourage making very dense urban cores. For the former, each building connected in an unbroken chain to your main tech center, the House of Wisdom, contributes to unlocking golden ages, which boost your economy significantly. In the case of the latter, landmarks can be built that increase the durability of all structures in their radius, and their town centers even have an emergency repair ability that will restore some health to nearby buildings without having to use.
You didn't even know that. No one tells me shit. The Mongols or the versatile Rus. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's obviously touched upon the fact that the 4 civs that they gave available to us in the technical stress test were very similar, and the most unique were the Chinese. I mean, I've got to say, I honestly think that all 4 civs and the ones that I also played in the closed beta, I think they are quite unique. I think you have that core element of units and mechanics that you have in Age of Empires 2, very similar to Age of Empires 2, and you do have those unique extras. But I think the unique extras and the things that define the civs in Age of Empires 4 is way more prominent than in Age of Empires 2. And I think Age of Empires 3 goes even further. So I think what they've done, which is great, is they've sort of found a middle ground for diversity of civs. So I think they've done that perfectly, to be honest, in my opinion. I don't think they're too similar, to be honest. I like where they are right now. Yeah. Anyway, that's my point. Let's carry on. We've got about 3 minutes left, this, guys. Don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep.
In contrast, the English seem best suited to playing wide. Their longbowmen have increased range over other archers, their keeps act as combination barracks, archery range, and stable, and units close to any of their defensive structures will get a temporary attack bonus anytime an enemy comes within a certain radius. They definitely feel the most like a classic Age of Empires 2 faction, with a strong ability to project map control, but nothing especially unique in terms of economic gameplay. The army list for each faction is fairly small and straightforward.
I mean, you do have some economic changes to the Brits, though, or the English. So I keep saying Brits because of AoE3, but you do have the increased, the reduced farm cost, and you have the increased gather rate of the farms as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, or is it just the mills? Yeah, apart from the cheaper farms that collect faster. Exactly. I mean, that's a complete game changer for the English, because it completely changes how you need to macro for things to get into farms as soon as possible, because it's more beneficial for you as a civ. So I would say it's quite a significant adjustment for the English, to be honest, but apparently not, according to this guy.
With a few.
By the way, we haven't got to the worst bit yet. I wouldn't dislike this video yet, so let's see if there's anything in here further on that suggests otherwise.
Types of melee infantry, a few different ranged troops, including gunpowder units in the capstone Imperial Age, cavalry, and a nice assortment of siege weapons. Each also has at least one unique unit, like the Chinese Zhuge Nu, which trades the armor piercing of a regular crossbowman for a higher rate of fire. There are some other minor differences too. The English and the Holy Roman Empire get access to heavy infantry in an earlier age than the other factions, to model their Germanic style of shock warfare. But in exchange, the Abbasids can research the phalanx that makes their spearmen more competitive against other types of infantry.
Whoa, what the hell? Hang on a second, what's this?
Other types of infantry.
Hang on. What? Not so total war. What? Please, no. Please do not tell me this guy is going to compare this game to Total War. This is it. This is where the dislike point. If you went onto YouTube Analytics, you looked at this video, I bet you after 3 minutes 30 is when all the dislikes come out.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Yeah. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Yeah, I've just gone now and disliked. Jesus, okay.
When these units meet on the battlefield, it's time to party like it's 1999. You're still limited to 200
party like it's 1999. Jesus.
Split as you like between civilians.
I'm going to dislike it on all
units
accounts.
Units are trained one at a time, with the exception of one late game building for the HRE that can build 5. This scale felt epic and compelling when I was a kid, but after decades of Total War and similar games, these battles often feel more like skirmishes. I found my...
Right, okay, right, well, of course they feel like skirmishes compared to Total War. Total War, you can field thousands of units. That's what distinguishes Total War from any other game, is the sheer amount of units and the fact that your computer can easily handle these humongous battles, you know? Is there eco in Total War? No, there's no eco. So this is the thing, right? I think this is the main issue with this video, right? He's comparing it. He's using the worst comparison possible, right? What you want to do is you want to compare it potentially to StarCraft, right? But even if you compare it to StarCraft, StarCraft, yes, it's the same idea of gathering resources and it's a real-time strategy and you're creating units and you have to defeat your opponent, right? Same thing, but the whole style of play is completely different, you know? So I would still think comparing this game to StarCraft 2 or StarCraft 1 or whatever, or even Warcraft is just, you know, so hard to do. You know, you can only really compare it to the other games in the franchise to get a real good comparison. Like, this is super bad. Like, this is like straight over the park. Like, what is he doing? He's talking about Total War, which is a completely different game. Duke Canada says you're actually better off comparing to modern RTS releases. Yeah, I mean, well, it depends on what you call RTS, because you've got classic old school RTS, which is what this is. And then you have RTSs that are slightly different, like sort of more turn-based strategy games. Like you've got Company of Heroes as well, and you've got other games like that that are different as well. So it is kind of a weird genre, RTS, or just strategy games in total. There's so many subgenres, and it can get really complicated. But let's have a look. Look at this guy floating his resources, though. I mean, I guess it's the tutorial, so I'll let
myself wishing that maybe they would have at least made the base military
question.
Unit
I wonder why 200
of a
pop
handful of
is
fighters.
cap. So you wonder why the 200 pop is the cap. I think the reason is there's got to be a cap. You've got to, at some point, with the map sizes and everything, you've got to try and adopt a certain type of play style, whether that's more of a skirmish type play style and then one big battle to determine which way it's going to go. I think you've got to have a pop cap somewhere, and I think it's always been 200, and I think that's a good amount of units. But yeah, original AoE in 1997, the pop cap was 50. Yeah, I remember that. That's absolutely insane. Like a 50 pop cap. Those, I mean, they were skirmishes. Like 50 pop caps, insane.
Rather than an individual to give an illusion of greater grandeur. The graphics are definitely nice, but they're not going to drop any jaws in this day and age, especially the unit models. From what I've seen so
yeah, so this is something else that I don't really want to get into too much on this video, because I kind of want to talk about it on a separate thing. This whole debate between graphics and art style, I think there's definitely two distinct things. They're two separate things, you know? Art style, you know, can limit you in what you can do on a graphical sense, you know, depending on what art style you choose, you know? If you compare StarCraft to this game, you know, StarCraft really made sure... Like 10 out of 10, art style is amazing in this game. Yeah, like the type of art style they've chosen is to be more of a modern, slick, clean RTS. You know, they're moving away from the dusty old classic, like, where's my scrolls, where's my brown sort of like crusty UI that you all like to see in these medieval RTS games. But they're sort of doing away with that and they're trying something different, you know? So I kind of think that UI isn't so nice in my opinion. You know, I think it's good that it's nice and clean because you can see everything. You understand what stuff is, and you can. They're clear images of what you need to click on in the UI and stuff like that. And that's what I really like. You know, yeah. Originally, I did moan about the UI, and I did think it was a bit too sort of sterile, let's say. But I think, you know, the art style of the game itself, you know, is pretty good. I haven't looked at the unit models in detail because I don't tend to really zoom in that much, to be honest. So, but there you go.
So far, how you feel about Age of Empires 4 is going to depend heavily on how interested you are in a very polished, faithful reimagining of a 22-year-old RTS. That's not to say I didn't enjoy myself. I definitely smiled as I pulled off an ambush using high ground or defended the Great Wall of China with fire and steel. And I don't really miss how bloated Age of Empires 3 feels.
Well, look how this guy's playing. What is he playing? What is he playing here? Look what he's doing. He's got these cancerous walls going up. Like, he's got a tiny little base, and he's just sitting there with 11,500 wood. Right? What is going on here? And then he's got houses built here where his farm should go. You know, I think it's okay to be a little underwhelmed, but he's upset for the wrong reasons. Yeah, exactly, Duke. Yeah. But I mean, you can clearly see this guy, you know, I mean, I don't know what RTS games he's been playing, but they really need to have someone, you know, who knows. I just think this guy doesn't have that great deal of experience playing these types of games. And that's why I don't know who the hell, you know, gave him the all clear to do a comparison between this and Total War. Like 35 vills and 5 idols. I mean, look at it. 35 vills, 5 idols. I mean, we're in age 4 here. He's just got into. So God knows what time we're at. But yeah.
In comparison, as it tried to cram in way too many ideas at once. But there's very little that seems truly new here. Maybe when I get my hands on the Mongol hordes, all of that will change. For more on Age of Empires 4, check...
Okay. All right. So his sort of thing is saying there's nothing really new here. You know, I mean, what more can you do to make this game more new? You know, it's got to bear some resemblance to the franchise itself. You know, it's got to have that sort of resemblance to previous titles to make your players more comfortable and ease them into the game. You know, you don't want to go on a curveball. You know, the graphics look really, really nice in my opinion. Yeah, you know, I mean, people are starting to warm to it, which is great. Lowell comments of gold. IGN reviewer eating an apple. It's not a banana. 3 out of 10. Yeah, let's have a look at these quickly. Most battles was skirmishes. That's fitting at least. Yeah, this IGN review is well different than a proper reviewer. Jesus, this Age of Empires game feels different than Total War. Gee, you look at that. That is the quote of the century. I might actually put that on my thumbnail there. This Age of Empires game feels different than Total War. Like, seriously? Guys, my body is ready. Also, give me Age of Mythology sequel. Yes! This reviewer should be fired. Why is this orange not like a hot dog? Another IGN fail. Wow. There we go, guys. So there you go, guys. So as I say, I hope you enjoyed that. That was a little sort of reaction video. This is my first time really doing this. So if you do like this and if there are other funny sort of reactions around Age of Empires or RTS games, there's probably not much out there, to be honest. Then make sure to hit me up with some suggestions. But I thought I would look at this. I can't wait for other sort of gaming blog sites, whatever you want to call them, to review this game when it's fully released. But yeah, this was really poorly done. They made the worst comparison. They were okay up to about 2 minutes, but when it hit the 3-minute mark and they started comparing it to Total War, they're completely wrong there. Completely wrong. To be honest, AoE is way more interesting. Yeah. Widgie, what's your verdict? Are you transitioning to AoE 4? Okay, right. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll leave this video here, and that is a question I can answer in another time. So thank you very much, guys, for watching this video. I appreciate it. And of course, oh, look at that. Thank you, guys. Appreciate this. And of course, if you did enjoy it, please feel free to drop a like, and you can catch me on Twitch like I am right now at Widgie1. Catch you guys later. Right, so there we go, guys. I do love DE. So, what do you want to know? I haven't got long. I can give you a couple of minutes.